Welcome to the Magnetic Online Leaders Podcast. This is your host, Stefi Lane, and we are talking about energetic alignment and energetic match. What the heck is the difference? And are they the same things? I thought that they were the same thing. And how do we get to that point? So, I'm actually talking about a pretty advanced concept here on the podcast. And I'm also streaming this inside my Facebook group in the Magnetic Online Leaders Facebook group. So I'll make sure to link it below if you want to join it. The people in the Facebook group is going to get behind the scenes. I'm probably going to pause. I'm going to look at my notes because when you record a podcast, it's a little bit more refined, it's a little bit more polished. But when you go live, it's not like that. Live is so ambiguous. Like, things can go wrong, things can pop in your head, tech, or things can go right, and you can connect with someone, and someone could comment on the right thing, and you're like, "Oh, stream of consciousness, like, really aligned and connect." So if you haven't listened to the podcast, I'm assuming if you're listening to it right now, but if you haven't, go check it out on Spotify, Magnetic Online Leaders. I have incredible episodes there, but this one is on what the fuck, WTF is energetic alignment and what is the match. Okay. So, have you ever felt, despite all your efforts, despite everything you're doing, that you miss your goals or you don't achieve the thing you want, or you're like, I should be here, but why am I not there? Right. Maybe you set timelines that felt very forced and you chased dreams that seemed really out of reach for you. And the issue might not be about hard work, but it's actually about alignment. And I've heard this term, especially from my mentors, especially from Melody Ann Lair and a couple of my other mentors, about energetic alignment or energetic match. I actually heard this first from Amanda Francis about becoming an energetic match. So we're going to get clear on what alignment is, even though it's quite an energetic concept to understand, what it means, its functionality, and why our ability to understand this will help us achieve our deepest desires and goals and all the things we want. Right, right, right. So if you want to listen to this now, make sure you comment, subscribe, and I can't wait for us to dive into this topic because honestly, I need to understand alignment because it's more than just action. So just take a deep breath with me right now. Mm. Alignment isn't about doing, it isn't about doing, it isn't about doing. Can you repeat that? Alignment isn't about doing, and it doesn't mean that you don't do. Okay. In the simplest terms, to be aligned with your dreams, it means your current state has to align with your emotions, your thoughts, your actions, your behavior, and they all have to sync. They all have to sync with where you want to be. So it's not just a checklist. Okay. It's not like, okay, my behaviors are good, my mindset's good, my vibe's good. Honestly, one of the most freeing things I've learned from my current mentor, Amy Elizabeth, is I don't have to be in a high vibe to manifest. And I don't have to be in a high vibe to align. I can just be with the truth. Alignment is being with the truth of what it is. So I'm going to say this again. To be aligned with the dreams and the things that you're desiring and the current state that you're in, you have to be aligned with your emotions, your thoughts, your actions, and your behaviors. When those are all in sync, it becomes alignment. Now, I want you to understand these two things. And I'm like, okay, I think I understand this. I get this. Alignment is internal. It is the I got this, boom, 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 boom kind of thing. And I'm going to go into topics and explain some, like, give you some examples on what that looks like. Match is external. At least this is my definition of what I see it. Match is the external. Like when I manifested a year-long coaching program with my mentor that was 18K at the time. When I manifested this, I was a match for it. It was something external, but my alignment is the internal. So what does it mean to being aligned? Okay. It's the emotions. So you have the emotional intelligence and the profound connection with your goals and with the emotions of who you want to be to get to the thing that you want. And then also the behavioral things, your actions directly reflect the outcome you desire. So if you're like, I'm a kind of person that is, even though right now I feel a little bit slow because I've had guests over at my house for the last 6 days. But like when you're like, okay, I am quick witted, I get things going, I understand what I'm doing, I refresh and revitalize my brain. And I'm the kind of person that drinks water and I drink my ounces in water and I feel hydrated, I feel refreshed, I feel sharp. Okay, I'm feeling much better. See, drink your water, folks. Okay. Then the next part is cognitive. So your thoughts support and amplify your objective. Doesn't mean you have to have positive thoughts all the time. Doesn't mean that you have to always be high vibe. I'm going to bring this closer to my mouth. Sorry for that. Okay. Doesn't mean that you have to be high vibe, but it means that your thoughts, I would say 80% of the time, if we're going to give it a number, are productive, are positive, are solution oriented, are I can do this, I can make this happen. And that's why you have to rewire your brain through affirmations, meditations, cognitive therapy, EFT. There's so many tools that you can wire your brain because there was a really long time ago that I literally felt like I was 20% positive and 80% negative. And I feel like that's flipped. I feel like I'm 80. I feel like I'm 88 right now, and I cannot figure the other configuration. I'm not the best at math. But that is what I'm desiring and wanting to do is stay in that positive flow. Okay, where was I? So what it means to be aligned. Again, alignment is internal, match is external. So what tends to happen, the pitfalls of tying your goals to time, okay? So I'm going to read this real quick. One of the common mistakes in goal setting is attaching outcome to a specific timeline without considering whether those timelines are realistic or in tune with your current life situation. Okay. So it can be quite challenging if you're like, I'm going to run a marathon but I have guests and family over at my house for 2 weeks, right? That doesn't feel like it's the right time. It doesn't like align with your goals. Of course, you could do it, but it doesn't feel like it can support you, especially if your family is wanting to go out to eat all the time and they're spending money and they're wanting to try out different restaurants. I just had a lot of people in my house. So this is the example I'm going with. But it has to resonate with the time and the place that you're in, with the circumstance that you're in. Okay. So, how to shift from time based goals to align based goals? Focus on the present, focus on where you are. And instead of setting goals for future, ask yourself where you are right now because alignment can happen right now. You don't have to get a certification. You don't have to wait for someone to praise you. You don't have to get on that certain podcast or be featured or publish that book. You can have alignment right now. I have seen it happen to myself time and time again. When I am in alignment, things just fall into place. They fall into place. I'm on one today. I love it. I'm definitely on one. Okay. And then the cultivating that feeling. Start feeling like the person who already achieves that goal. And how would that person feel, act, and think? That's important about alignment is like showing up of how that person thinks and feels. One of my biggest activators is clothes. One of my biggest activators is beauty. I think I'm a quite pretty person, pretty woman. And I really desire to dress up and feel pretty and look pretty. And I'm not doing it of course I like when my husband tells me I look gorgeous, but it's for myself too. I am the type of person that dresses up. I'm the type of person that gets activated by clothing. I have some friends that could care less about clothing. They're more about the tech and then they're more about some systems or that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. Also, I feel like beauty has been shamed from our logical society for so long, and I'm so sick of it. I'm so sick of it. I prioritize beauty, and beauty prioritizes me, and it shows up in my life. It shows up in my life. And the next thing is adjust action to match. Bring your daily actions into harmony with these feelings and these thoughts. Bring that in. Bring your daily action into harmonies with these feelings and these thoughts. And that is how you're able to connect with the alignment, because the alignment is the things you do in order for the match to happen. All right. So you want to meet a man. Okay. You want to date somebody. You want to meet the man of your dreams. Okay. So Sarah has not the best habits. Maybe she doesn't have a clean home and she doesn't take care of herself. She thinks all men are dogs. She gets really overwhelmed with dating, right? But she wants her Prince Charming. She wants the love of her life. She wants him to come in and she wants him to bring roses and just show up in her house without her having to go anywhere. That can be quite challenging when there's certain things, there's certain sequences of events that have to happen. So maybe Sarah doesn't feel good in her body. How can she move her body? How can Sarah, tidy up her home and create space for this lover to come in? Like if, perhaps she doesn't have a space for him to put his shoes or whatnot. So creating that space. Okay, she's got to work on that mindset of all men are dogs and start to like really heal and reprogram her mindset with the masculine. Okay, Sarah, you got to go on dates. Can't just you can't just manifest your husband unless, you do it a certain way, a specific way, but she's gonna go on dates. She's gonna go on apps. She's gonna ask friends for referrals. You can ask for referrals. You can go to events. You can travel. She's gotta put herself out there. And putting herself out there, then she's in alignment for that match. And guess what? Boom, love of her life. She bumps into him at a coffee shop. They lock eyes. Boom, he takes her on an incredible date. He wants to be with her. They're happily ever after, sort of thing. That's the thing. You want to be able to you can create the alignment. The match is God's work. The match is something that you don't have any control and you don't even know what it looks like. And you think you know what it looks like, but it's not going to look like the thing that you think it's going to look like. Okay. It's not going to look like the thing that you think it's going to look like. Let me say that again, because when matches come in, they're magical. When matches come in, I mean, moving to Austin was a match. We were doing all the internal work, we were making things happen, our business was getting better, and this was 2020, yeah, end of 2020, and we just were like, we weren't feeling aligned with California anymore. We weren't feeling happy in California anymore. It was feeling too crowded, too negative, too expensive, all the things, and I can say that because 'cause I'm a Californian, right? But when I moved here, it felt so in alignment because and it felt such a match, and it literally hit us on the side of our head, like, we didn't even know Austin, like, was the thing, and Austin would kept coming up to us in coaching sessions and, on the news, and we kept feeling we're like, "Okay, it's Austin. I think it's Austin. I think it's Austin. I feel it's Austin." And guess what? When we drove into Austin, we were driving in, I was seeing the beautiful city landscape, the horizon of the city, the buildings, and I felt it, my kundalini rising. And I haven't had this feeling very often, and if you've ever had this feeling, it's incredible and scary at the same time. It was so shaking, and I felt it. It's sort of like, when you go on a roller coaster and you feel like your stomach goes up and down. It's like that, but in a very fuzzy, buzzy way. And I felt it. Ooh. And that's when I was like, this is a match. This is a match. This is a match. This is a freaking match. Okay. Thank you so much for joining me on the Magnetic Online Leaders podcast, or if you join me in the Facebook group. I have this incredible way that we can work together one on one. It's called Unveil Your Magnetic Self. So Unveil Your Magnetic Self is I was getting asked a lot of people asking me, "Hey, can I just book a one-on-one session with you?" And I was very hesitant at first, but I was like, "You know what? Yeah, let's do like a 90-minute journey with me all about unlocking your magnetic self." So this is a personalized session for women who are seeking depth, beauty, and joy. I have a tendency to blend spirit and strategy together, especially my 10 plus years in online marketing and digital marketing. And our whole focus is to create a unique business and lifestyle plan for you. That Excuse me. That is the whole goal of that, is to create and craft a unique business lifestyle plan for you so you can feel really empowered and elevated and happy and focused and have a plan so you can just continue to be your magnetic self and just drop the struggle. Like, stop overthinking, stop making things complicated, stop like running in circles, like let go of that control, and stop sabotaging yourself because we need to create that plan. And so I'll make sure to link it below because this is for the woman who desires more depth, more joy, more laughter, more clarity, and you've tasted success, but you just feel like there's something more and you want to create a business lifestyle plan. And yeah, that is available at stefilane.com/session, stefilane.com/session. And I'll see you soon. Thank you for joining. Bye.